My name is Stephanie Flack. I'm the Potomac River Project Director for the Nature Conservancy, and my job is to work on the Potomac River for clean water for nature and people. I have three young children, and once I was talking to one of my sons who is 8 and saying to him, do you think I should work or should I stay home with you more? And he said, well, I'd like it if you stayed home with me, but you're trying to protect the earth, and I think that's important, so I think you need to do that. So my husband supports me. He loves what I do, and he supports that I enjoy what I do, and my kids think it's exciting and like learning about it too. I really love working for the Nature Conservancy. It's a fantastic organization full of committed people who really have a passion for what we do. My job is exciting because it's different every day. I get to do different things. Some days I get to be out here by the river, either with botanists or other people talking about how to better protect and restore this area. Sometimes I'm in my office doing office type things, reading papers and doing studies to help come up with new solutions to problems that will help reduce the cost of clean water and get more people to invest in protecting and restoring these important areas. So it's really variable and exciting, and there's a lot of room for creativity and partnership and collaboration with other people who are interesting and bring a lot of expertise to this challenge. So the Potomac River is somewhat of a success story. The United States passed the Clean Water Act in 1972, and it's been 40 years since that law was passed. And we are very fortunate that the river is much cleaner because of that. And that act did very much progress for us in controlling what we call end-of-pipe pollution, things coming from factories that can be more easily monitored and regulated and controlled.
National Historical Park, which is the actual canal that is the reason this was protected as parkland. It goes back to our first American president, George Washington, and it's very important because it provides a 183-mile buffer.
The big challenge and threat going forward for the Potomac River is what we call non-point source pollution or indirect pollution. And that's pollution that runs off from the land, either from urban city areas or from farm areas, carrying pollutants, toxins, contaminants, and nutrients. Nutrients sound good when you think about it in your food, but nutrients are actually very bad for water quality because they can overly enrich the water and change the ecological balance in ways that's bad for nature and bad for the drinking raw water quality of the drinking water we get. I think that one thing we need is to raise awareness of people about the very important function that nature provides us, that it gives us clean water, that it helps contribute to clean air, and to understand that to replace those functions would cost a lot more than if we just keep them functioning well to begin with. So from my perspective, it would be helpful if the government supported more studies and that would document the importance and value of nature, and then created systems to have society invest in protecting and restoring those areas and those functions that are so important to us. My dream for this river would be that we have one of the greatest proportions of the watershed protected, because we know that forests provide us with clean water. So I would like to see that we as a society make a decision that it's a good investment to protect the forests, the streams, the wetlands, and the river itself, and that we keep a mosaic of land use in the watershed, a mix of working lands and protected lands and communities that can benefit from the healthy water quality we get from forested areas and functioning natural watersheds. I've also worked more broadly on the Potomac River and the watershed with partner groups trying to determine how much water the river needs for ecological functions and how can we balance human needs with ecosystem needs so that we make sure we have plenty of water to keep the system healthy and thriving. Lately, the thing that I'm working on the most is the issue of how to promote conservation of the broader Potomac River watershed. The river here, where we are today, is the drinking water source for more than 4 million people in the DC region. It's the primary drinking water source. And it's very important to conserve the watershed that drains to the Potomac River, the forested area and the wetlands and the streams and rivers that are important for water quality, and that the forests that act as natural filters on the land to keep the water clean. On the Potomac is very important because there are more than 4.3 million people who depend upon the Potomac for their primary water supply source. So there are many things we need to do to conserve and restore the watershed and the river that we all depend upon for the water we drink. This is the same water that the United States Congress uses to brew their coffee and that President Obama uses to wash his hands. So we hope that our leaders in this country will understand how important this is and why it's in everybody's good interest to look out to the future and to conserve and restore the important forested areas that are important for water quality in our region.